Hello everyone and welcome back to Engineering Graphics. So, this time we'll be talking about my favorite relations. Now, we learned about relations last time, but this time I actually want to focus in on the best ones because what I've realized is even though I talk about it one time and I show you all these relations, sometimes it just gets lost about how important they are. So first off, I need to make sure you can actually see them, which you can now. And let's go from there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a line here, I'm going to put a point, and I'm going to put a circle. Okay? Because all those guys are going to be helpful for me in adding relations. So the first one that I use almost all the time is either vertical or horizontal. Vertical and horizontal works either with a line or it works with 2 points. A line is 2 points with something drawn between them, so it's more or less the same thing. With a line, it's very, very simple. You have a line, it becomes a horizontal line or a vertical line, and it can never change from that. It is stuck as that. 2 points is not quite as clear. So you control-click 2 points. Remember, when you're doing these relations, clicking one lets you add relations to 1 point. Clicking 2 things gives you a lot more options. So when I say horizontal, what happens is these 2 dots are now horizontal forever. I use this a lot if I'm making like a grid of circles or something. I can make 4 circles, and then I can say, hey, these 2 are vertical to each other. These 2 are vertical. So you can see now they're attached by a vertical line. These 2 are horizontal, and these 2 are horizontal. As a note, I need you to notice that I'm only clicking the center. I'm not clicking the outside edge for that. I'm clicking the dot at the center to do that. And now these guys are on this grid that will stay on a grid forever. I don't have to worry about it. Okay. So that is one of my favorite ones. I use it to make grids. I use it to get things aligned. If I don't want to have a dimension, sometimes I can just say it's horizontal or vertical and I'll know exactly where it is. It's great. It's amazing. The second one I use a lot is I make things equal. This is really helpful for skipping out of dimensions, or if you're centering something, just making both sides equal. So if I click equal after selecting all 4 of the circles, they're now the same size forever. If I change one, I change all of them, which once again is really great for me having them on a grid. Okay? Move them around as I wish. Work good. I can also do that with lines, make sure that these 2 are equal, which are always going to be the case just because how they're set up. It won't let me do it. But I could say that this guy and this guy are equal. So they're always the same length. So no matter what I do with this guy, he will never be anything different than this guy. So equal is great. I'm just giving you an example of when I'm trying to center things. I'll go ahead and show that to you now as well. So right here, I've got a circle, okay? And I'm going to make sure that it is vertical to the origin. There we go, and vertical. Okay, so it can never move side to side. It's always centered on the origin, can't move anywhere. That's why I add relations. Now I'm going to add 2 lines touching this circle. There's one. There's the other. Now my question for you is, how do I make sure that those lines are the same size? Well, I could dimension them, or I can just simply say that they're equal. Okay? Now they're always going to be the same length, which will also help me center what I'm creating on this circle because they always have to move together. You see that? Okay, things get wonky if I do that because I move them on the same side, but otherwise, ice cream cone. Okay. So my next favorite relation is coincident. I use it all the time. So let's see what coincident does. Okay, I've got a line and a point. Okay, a line and a point. What does that do? I click coincident. Well, it seems to you probably that looks like just like horizontal. Like, okay, if this one's horizontal, that's all it does. It's the same thing. It's not. Coincidence says that the point I have is now either forever trapped on another point or on an infinitely long line that extends through a line. So in this case, this is a line, that's a point. This point will always be somewhere on this infinitely long line that extends through this guy and out on both sides forever. It's easier to see with this guy right here, okay? So I'm going to make this line and this point coincident. Now, it seems like they're touching, but it doesn't have to. I can pull it off to the side. You see that? But no matter how I do this, you see that my line is always pointing through the origin now. And if I had some different point, it would always point through that point. So this line will always be focused right on the origin. It's very, very helpful for making sure that something that's radially symmetric will always be pointing at the same point. I like it. Okay, now what I use a lot is tangent. Okay, tangent, the edge of a circle, not the center, the edge of a circle, and a point and a line. Or sorry, point or a line. When I click tangent, it says that this circle is not necessarily touching this line, but it is touching an infinitely long line that extends through this. I can make this infinite length if I want to. See? And it's only touching it at a single point. One point and only one point forever. I use it a lot because a lot of times circles need to touch something at only one point. I use that when I'm connecting circles together too, like you can do it with two circles. Say that these guys are tangent. And now they connect at only one point. I might do that if I'm trying to make some interesting shape like an S or something. I can trim entities, get rid of half on one side, get rid of half on the other, and have some interesting shape like that. I need to make this a smooth transition, it has to be tangent. That's really, really hard to do with dimensions. Like relations are going to save you so much time on dimensions if you just use relations instead. So do it, make things equal. Set it up right and make it a lot simpler on yourself. It will be so much better. Okay. So with all of this, I think I've hit my favorites. I hit on tangent, I hit coincident, horizontal, vertical, and equal. Those are the ones that I use the most often. And I strongly suggest that you play around with them and try to use them rather than adding a bunch of extraneous dimensions to your sketches. So, thanks for listening, everybody. I hope this helps you, and I'll see you all next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.